Poland is a country with many faces. It can delight you with its natural beauty, amaze you with its modernity, or interest you with its rich history. The busy streets of the big cities are full of life, and majestic nature can soothe your troubled nerves. In the last few decades, Poland has undergone an unprecedented metamorphosis and has become a possibility for many countries. Discover the stories of people who left their homeland and chose Poland as their new home. What did they expect? What did they discover? What made them so determined to stay here? Our heroes will answer these questions. Immigrants from all over the world who built their new lives in Poland. Today we will visit the suburbs of Warsaw and its peaceful and cozy settlement, Celestynów. This is where our character settled down. Ryotaro, originally from Japan, came to Poland 15 years ago. This is where he decided to root and set up his family. My name is Ryotaro Sakamoto. I've been living in Poland for 15 years. I've got plenty of household chores and a job, so I'm always busy. But I try to work in the garden every day. Gardening is very relaxing for me. Time in the garden replaces my morning coffee. Everyone asks me why I came to Poland. I studied in the US. When I returned to Japan, I learned that my school in Shizuoka had signed a partnership with a university in Belarus, and I got a scholarship there. When in Belarus, I had to send monthly reports to Japan, but there was no internet. So I traveled to Poland about 10 times a year just to send those reports. That's when I started seeing my wife, Monika. It turned out that life in Poland was cheap, so we decided to settle here.
Ohayou. Ohayou. まいちゃん、かいちゃん、おいで。こっちこっち。ご飯。よく来た、よく来た。じゃあ、かいちゃんこれ持って、まいちゃんはかいちゃん持ったやつを持ってってくれる？
We usually have a traditional Japanese breakfast with rice and miso soup.
いいズーパー味噌。お願いします。まだあるから、まいちゃんどんどん来てよ。
My son's name is Kai, which means noble. My daughter is Marissa. Ma means happiness. Ri is a field or a village, and Sa is cherry blossom. So, a village in full bloom. It's very important for us that our children learn both languages, Japanese and Polish, and both cultures.
はい、手を合わせてください。いただきます。
いただきます。
よし、食べましょう。
We set a few rules. For example, at home we only speak Japanese. My wife talks to the kids in Japanese. I speak to them in Japanese, read them books in Japanese, and so on. But outside, at school, kindergarten, they speak Polish, of course.
お父さん今日このご飯の後お仕事行くから2人は今日はちょっちゃと一緒に行ってくれる？
では。
いいじゃん。
何とさっき。
ちょっちゃと一緒に今日いてくれる？でその後ママは5日に帰ってくるからな。ね。5日に帰ってくる。
何？
ちょっちゃんねなのことだよ。
何？
アニマンオーシャンのことだよ。オッケー？ね。かいちゃんもオッケー？行きたいっしょ？行きたいって言ってたじゃん。やだの？まあでも我慢してね。
Let me show you where I work. Here, I'll be teaching a calligraphy class. In 2012, we started the Warsaw School of Japanese Language. In Japan, I studied English and Japanese language pedagogy. So I learned how to teach Japanese in Japanese. For the first 5 years, we worked really hard, non-stop, even on weekends. It allowed us to develop the school. In Japanese, we have 3 writing systems: hiragana, katakana, and kanji characters. Kanji aren't phonetic, they're not syllables. Each character carries its own meaning. It's more like a picture than an alphabet. Let me explain the character for new in Japanese. It's pronounced atarashi or shin. First, I'll write the strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the last one, 13. The character is made of 3 parts. First, there's this element. Japanese is very creative. Change the order and the meaning is completely different. For example, kaisha means company. Reverse it, shakai, and it means society. This is one character. It's katsu, to stand. Here's the head. Here are the arms and legs. He's standing, like on a roof. And down here is another character. This is also a separate sign. It stands for ki. You can see it's a tree. These 3 lines are the roots. The ground, and from it, of course, the tree grows. So these are standing trees. And here on the right, there's one more piece. What does it mean? First, I'll draw it. This is an axe. Why does that make the character mean new? Because with an axe, you cut down the standing tree and create new material. That's why it means new. I think Japanese isn't that difficult for Poles to learn, especially the spoken language. Grammar and pronunciation are simple. But for us, Polish is very hard. It takes longer for the Japanese to learn Polish than for Poles to learn Japanese. Japanese people are eager to work with Poles because Poles, just like us, are hard-working.
Zobaczmy to. Trochę próbowałem kaisho i gyosho. Próbowałem przejść do gyosho, ale...
No to ten kaisho. Może od tego zaczynamy. Kaisho.
Ryotaro is very open and eager to share his knowledge. He really helps us understand the background of these characters. The atmosphere is warm and we enjoy our time while learning the art of writing. I feel very comfortable here because Poles are interested in Japan. In Japan, drums are seen as a way to communicate with the gods. I started playing taiko after the Matsuri Japanese festival. After attending a concert, I joined the group and started learning. These pieces may sound like war songs, but they're actually joyful. They're played at festivals. You often hear them in temples, at weddings or concerts. I've known Ryotaro since 2019. What's incredible is how many things he does. We play taiko, we practice calligraphy, paint with sumi ink, and still he finds time to support Ukraine. He's one of a kind. In Japan, people drive on the left due to Britain's influence. In the early 20th century, Japan and Britain were allies. That influence spread not only in Japan, but also in countries like Australia and India. They also drive on the left. Compared with Tokyo, Warsaw is small, but for me, it feels too big. I live in Celestinov, about 50 kilometers away. It's peaceful here and no crowds. Of course, there are no trams or metro. But I prefer the quiet life of the countryside.
Cześć, cześć. Co posadziłeś?
O, cześć, cześć. Wiesz co, tutaj posadziłem japońskie wiśnie. No.
A to i to jest wiśnia?
Nie, to wiśnia. To jest jabłonka, tak jakby symbolizuje przyjaźń między Polską a Japonią. No,
Jabłonka chyba potem ma białe.
Tak, no.
Kwiatki.
Ale jeszcze kwiatki już mam nadzieję, że w następnym roku już będzie owoce. Wiśnia na razie jest tak, ale mam nadzieję, że w następnym roku myślę, że będą kwitnąć.
Ja poznałem Ryotaro.
I met Ryotaro more than 10 years ago.
Zaczynaliśmy od
We started as student and teacher, but it naturally turned into friendship.
A pokażesz jeszcze tego narodu?
No. Nie wiem, co jeszcze trzeba tutaj wykonać, można robić.
Myślę, że można byłoby dodać więcej płytek, bo...
No tak, tutaj na razie póki co jest tylko raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, nie? Tak. I to ja chciałbym to kierować do Tsukubaju.
A Tsukubaj to jest które? To jest...
Tsukubaj to jest tam, gdzie myjemy ręce.
Aha, to.
Tak.
At my son's local school, I created a Japanese garden, and now a museum is also taking shape. In the garden, the gravel symbolizes the Pacific Ocean, and there are also a few stones. The largest one represents Mount Fuji.
A co z tymi kamieniami?
No to symbolizuje Góra Fuji. No i te dwa to jako wyspa, tak? Czyli tutaj jest land, a ocean.
Ale to prawdziwe kamienie, prawda?
Tak, oczywiście.
A to jak da się radę tutaj przyciągnąć?
No plecakiem. Nie, żartuję. To oczywiście ten cięciary to przyjechał tu i po prostu dźwigiem, tak? Tutaj posadziliśmy.
In a Japanese garden, you can't use concrete, only stone.
I może jeszcze drzewko posadzić tu, jak myślisz?
No można. Tylko tak jak mówiłem, to raczej niewysokie, a żeby nie było też tego za dużo i żeby dzieci się o to nie obijały.
Ile jeszcze drzewek tutaj można posadzić?
No jeżeli mamy cały ten trawnik, no to myślę, że tak raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, pięć, to jest 10 drzewek, jak mniej więcej, w zależności od tego, jakie uda się kupić, jakie wielkości. Jest bardzo otwarty,
He's so
bardzo pomocny,
open, helpful and reliable.
Wszystko robi zawsze
He always delivers on time. He's always ready to help.
Ma trochę więcej problemów.
But he's not as good at asking for it himself.
A raczej trzeba to zauważyć.
When he's in need, you have to notice. He won't call and say so. But yes, he's very open.
Tak, jest bardzo otwarty.
I really like the area where I live.
Jest tutaj dużo lasów.
Lots of woods, marshes and the Świder River with its city beach. I often take my children there.
この辺ちょっとここにしようかちゃん待ってOK はいいいよ行ってきていいよあっちはかいちゃんの担当だからPoles
work a lot, and in their free time, they travel or relax. Japanese mostly rest at home. The Polish way of life and relaxing suits me more. It's a great time for families.
こっちから行こうその辺ちょっと深い でもカニちゃんそろそろおしまいね。そろそろ戻っておいでよ。じゃあそろそろ行くから、まーちゃんこれを少し片付けてくれるかな。これといくつ持ってきたかな。1、2、3、4。
Sometimes Poles ask why I don't go back to Japan. Higher pay, more friends, healthier life, and so on. But Poland has its own positives. For example, no typhoons, no rainy season. In Japan, right now, it rains a lot. There are no earthquakes here. In this regard, it's very safe. When the war in Ukraine began, I started helping Ukrainians. I've raised money and even managed to set up a foundation in Japan. It bought 3 ambulances and sent them to Ukraine. Aid keeps arriving, like these 2 boxes here. We've got 15 computers for children in Ukraine who have no access to school, so they can learn at home. With a laptop, they can continue their education. What else? For example, down here, we have 4,000 notebooks. I ordered them in Poland. This, for example, is a notebook I designed this year. And here are others with Japanese and Ukrainian motifs. I have to act. Something must be done. And since I speak Russian, I believe I can help. So we have 4,000 notebooks. What else? Here are toys. We have 1, 2, 3, and 2 more boxes of toys, collected and sent by Japanese children for Ukrainians. I've been helping non-stop, and it's become part of my life in Poland.
Halo, привіт. Знаєш що, у мене вже є 4 тисячі зошитів, і також у мене є зараз 15 ноутбуків, так? Вони чекають завжди. І я буду вдома завжди, і коли будь-коли можете забрати це все. Ну, так, добре. А, і ще ігрушки, так? Також можеш забрати. Маю 1, 2, 3, так, картони. І то wszystko, ну, це все. Dobra. No, dziękuję. Na razie.
Normally, we spend weekends together as a family. But sometimes, maybe once a year, my wife spends a weekend alone, or I travel to Japan by myself. Now, for example, my wife, though she's very busy, has a hobby: painting. She went to London for a painting workshop.
FBI が僕たちを襲った。今テレビの人たちだよ。テレビの人たちが今ここにいる。あとミハウも来てるよ。ミハウはゴシャと戦ってる。
When I was a child, some 30 years ago in Japan, men were clearly dominant in the family. But things have gradually changed, and now it's more like in Europe. I'm not sure about Poland, but I guess wives here often play a stronger role in the family. Not always, of course. Same in Japan.
まあじゃあどういう反応するか見てみたいからやってみてよ。普通にお話してほら、まいちゃん普通に。
でけ。
カメラでもお話ししたよね。
うん、カメラさん今ママの後ろにいるよ。
I've heard the divorce rate in Poland is very high, around 60%. In Japan, it's much lower. Why? Of course, some Japanese couples break up too. But before deciding on divorce, they worry about others. What will the neighbors say? Sometimes shame stops them from splitting up. In Poland, people don't care as much about what neighbors, parents, or even children will say. Maybe a little, but what matters most is I. I want a divorce, and so they divorce.
みんなさっきね 足に捕まってねいじめたりしてたみんなのこと。かいちゃんはずっとなんか引っ張ったりするしさ。Dla mnie
For me, family is the most important. I want to always be a good father, a good husband, be good to my children.
Robię herbatę. Chodziłem zieloną. Czasami
Friends from Warsaw drop by sometimes, like Asha and Michał.
Gosia się pewnie napije, tak? Gosia?
Gosia w szczególności.
To jest bardzo zdrowe.
Gosia tak, Gosia w sumie zielono może.
From the Japanese point of view, it's important that Poles also value tradition and family. I know many Japanese people who travel across Europe and finally come to Poland. They say Poland is their favorite. Great food, great climate, friendly people. And as Chopin's country, Poland is known to Japanese from childhood.
お尻のパンツ。
ハゲたよ、ハゲたよ。
うんちのパンツ。
かいちゃん読む
I want my children to learn Japanese culture. Hard work, punctuality, respect for tradition.
どうだよ。何遍やってもダメなんだ。パンツなんか履かないや。タツくんは外へ駆け出したよ。
To make it happen in Poland, I often read them books in Japanese and talk with them a lot. Identity and language are connected. If someone of Japanese origin doesn't know the language well, their identity is weaker. I think language is the foundation for building a strong identity.
おしまい。さあじゃあ2人ともそろそろ寝ますよ。
やだね。
じゃあその寝る前に一回ママと話しよう、OK？
やだ。
まいちゃん話したいママと。
寝ようね。
よしじゃあ話しようね。
My days are intense. I'm always busy. Sometimes I'm alone with the kids. But evenings are my time. I like to lie and look at the sky or the stars. For me, it's a form of meditation. It recharges me. I want to live in Poland for the rest of my life. It's important to love your own country. If you don't love Japan, you can't truly love other countries like Poland. I love Japan deeply, and because of that, I can also love Poland.